Hey guys, it's me, your favorite Michigan girl and wannabe Jedi Caitlin. Happy Saturday! Okay, a few weeks ago I was complaining about how it felt like more like hot than like April for Michigan. I take that back. Today it is definitely not hot like at all. It is hot. Very, very hot. It's supposed to hit like 90 today. First time this year that we're going to hit 90. I don't think we hit 90 last year. I remember last year's trip to Michigan's Adventure, it was very weird. I've experienced Michigan's Adventure like every year I've gone pretty much. We've had awesome weather. The first year I went, which was like 6 years ago. The weather was blazing hot, very bright and sunny when we first got to the park, and then like 3 hours into our visit there, it became very stormy and we ended up leaving. There were like a ton of tornadoes that night in Michigan. It was awful weather and I woke up the next morning with a 2nd-degree sunburn. So yeah. Last year, so I've been to Michigan's Adventure when it's been really, really hot, really, really crowded, really busy. I've been there a few times where actually the weather hasn't been that hot. It's been nice, it's been pleasant, warm enough to go swimming, but not so hot that you're baking. One year the park was literally dead because like 2 hours before the park opened, a severe storm system moved through the area and actually knocked out power temporarily to that area. So there was no power at the park, and everybody's like, oh, it's gonna storm again. So everybody ended up staying away from the park, and that was the best time ever because we literally waited in like no lines to ride anything. That was the best year because the storm scared everybody away and ended up being one of the most beautiful days to go. It was awesome. Last year was the first year I went where it was actually rather chilly. I remember I love the wave pool, and so that's when I'm at the water park. That's where I spend most of the time. I remember I would go into the wave pool, get out of the wave pool, turn around, and jump back into the wave pool because the water in the pool was warmer than being outside the pool. It was like walking. I was like, oh, brr, I'm cold. Ooh, pool, warm. And I'd be back in the pool because it was so much warmer than being outside. So this year they're saying the summer in Michigan is supposed to be a lot warmer, which I won't mind if it's warm, but they're also saying we have a higher chance of getting some nasty storms. So I'm kind of hoping that we don't get any storms when we go to Michigan's Adventure. That would kind of ruin it. The one year we went, that was my first year that I went with my dad and his relatives. That was the first year that it stormed. That was the only year it's ever stormed while we were at the parks. Last year it was really cloudy and cold, like I said. There was a threat of rain, but it never actually rained. It never stormed. So I've been kind of blessed the years when I've gone to the park because it's never been like totally bad weather except for that first year. So I'm kind of worried that maybe this year my streak of getting semi-nice or uber nice weather for the parks is gonna be broken and I'm gonna get stuck going on a stormy day, which sucks because that's the only day I've taken off. I might be going to see if I can get another day off in July. I don't know if my GM will approve it. I have another cousin who graduated from high school this year, and I used to be really close to her, and I would love to go to her graduation party. She means a lot to me. She's always been one of my favorite relatives. I used to spend so much time with her. We all used to spend so much time with her. She actually has a nickname for my dad. She calls my dad Uncle Donut because every time he would see her, he usually had a donut to give her. So when she was younger, she equated with my dad with donuts. And in my family, donuts are like the best snack food ever. Oh my gosh, we love donuts. Love donuts. They're our favorite. And in Michigan, the current place to get donuts is this bakery out in Clare, Michigan, which is like an hour or 2 hours away from here. It's called Cops and Donuts. It's actually run by former cops. All their food is homemade. Everything is homemade. It is so awesome. I usually don't like peanut butter donuts. I tried a peanut butter donut, like peanut butter frosting, peanut butter filling, and it was awful, and I got it from Walmart. Cops and Donuts have a Long John, which is like those donuts with like cream or Bavarian cream, like custard or cream. They have a version at Cops and Donuts, which is peanut butter cream and then like peanut butter on top with chocolate. Oh my god, it is so amazing. I tried it a few years ago. I tried it last year when we came home from we're on our way home from going up north. It is so amazing. It is so good. Oh my gosh, their cookies are amazing. All the donuts I've tried, they are so good. Their cookies are huge. Oh my gosh, I cannot get enough of tell you guys enough about Cops and Donuts. It is so awesome, and I thought they were opening a second store in Ludington. Actually, I was wrong. It's not Ludington. They're opening the second store in Bay City, which is a little bit more closer than Claire. Oh my gosh, I love Cops and Donuts. And so my dad, for my cousin's graduation, he's actually waking up early and driving out to Claire's to get her a donut from Cops and Donuts. But yeah, it's really good. It was really cool discovering Cops and Donuts because here in Midland we used to have this bakery called Hamilton's, and it had been around since before I was born. My dad actually worked there. He knew the people who owned it. They were the ones who did my first birthday cake. When I got confirmed, they actually did my confirmation cake. They didn't do my graduation cake because that would have been expensive, but they did my confirmation cake, which was really pretty. It was a white. It was an open Bible, white icing with purple flowers, because purple is my favorite, my ultimate favorite color. And my name and stuff, and it was really pretty. My birthday cake had purple on it when I got them from them, and they used to have two shops in Midland, and we would go to the one downtown all the time. My dad would take my brother and he and I would always get their cream-filled Long Johns. My brother would get like a cake donut, and my brother and I would always get little cartons of chocolate milk. And then we would go and either sit outside on benches outside and eat the donuts there, or my dad would take us down to this park we have called the Tridge, and we'd go eat the donuts, and then Dad would take us to like run off the sugar before he took us home to Mom. But Hamilton's closed, I think, like a couple of years ago, so it's actually kind of sad because they were really kind of a Midland institution. Like, everybody here knew Hamilton's, like everybody. Like in October, you'd go and get they make these pumpkin cookies. You'd go and get a pumpkin cookie. When I was up and attending school in Marquette, I was bummed because I loved Hamilton's, and every October I would go and get like their little orange cookies that we call pumpkin cookies. So my dad came up for Parents Weekend, which was in October. My mom sent him up with a box full of stuff from Hamilton's. There was a donut, there was a bunch of donuts, and instead of a pumpkin cookie, she got me a little mini cake that was a jack-o'-lantern. So it was nice. I really miss Hamilton's. I'm glad Cops and Donuts is around. I wish that they would open up a branch here in Midland because they are so good. But yeah, so Cops and Donuts is a great place. I still miss Hamilton's. I wish Hamilton's would reopen, but I don't think that's going to happen. So, but at least there's Cops and Donuts, even if it is like an hour out of the way to go get some. But yeah, great. So my dad's getting her a donut. So I didn't ask for the day off, and I'm kind of leery about asking for it off because I already asked for 2 days off in July. I asked for the 18th and 19th because the 18th is the day I'm going to be at Michigan's Adventure, and the 19th is because I need a day to rest. Because no matter how early Dad and I leave Michigan's Adventure, we never get home till almost midnight. I think a couple of years he's actually gotten me home and dropped me off at like 1 in the morning. And Muskegon isn't that far away from Midland. It's like 3 or 4 hours maybe. But we don't know why. Like last year, we left at 7 o'clock. We left when the water park closed. The water park is open from noon to 7 most days. We left at 7 because there really wasn't anything else we wanted to do. And my dad like loves the water park, and he just goes for the water park. So at 7 o'clock, we left. We had to make a couple stops on the way home for like gas and food and stuff like that. But we left at 7, and we didn't hit any traffic, and I still wasn't home till 11:30. So yeah, so I definitely took an extra day off from work so I could have a day off to recuperate because sometimes I get scheduled at 9, and if I get scheduled at 9, I'd come home. I wouldn't be in bed till like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and have to get up at like 6:45 so I could go into work at 9. So I definitely requested an extra day off because of the trip, and I already have Sunday off, so I'd have time to pack. But I want to take that third day off in July to go to my cousin's graduation party. But I'm not sure if my GM would give it to me. I can try. Like, I'll go and check, and if nobody else has requested it off, I'll probably see if I can get it. It would be nice, you know. I'm not asking for a lot of time off. Like, at most, I'll probably ask for, I'm thinking ahead. I know I'm going to ask for 2 days off in December, because one day, we're going for either November or December. I'm going to ask off for 1 day because, Frankenmuth, that's like an entire day trip. And then, the 24th of December, Christmas Eve, because I go to church. So that would be like the only other 2 days off I would ask for this year, because there's really nothing else planned. So on average, I'd probably ask for maybe 4 days off a year from work. So this will be the only year where I probably will ask for more. But yeah, so I really don't know why she wouldn't give it to me if nobody else has asked for it off. But I'll try, because it's not like I'm asking for any time in August off. I won't take any time because it's back to school and I know we're going to be swamped. So okay, anyway, before I get into Star Wars stuff, I want you guys to see the newest citizen who has apparently taken up residence in the apartment complex. I don't know if you guys can see it. That is a bunny rabbit. We have a bunny rabbit living. I don't know if you guys could see that very well, but we have a bunny rabbit living in the courtyard of our apartments. And I've given him a name. I've named him Easy because of the street. So I named him Easy. And he lives in our apartment, and he lives in the apartment complex. He's super cute, and you can get up to like within a foot or two of him, and he will not run. He is so used to humans. People have been beating him, so it's kind of nice. There's also a heron that I think is nesting somewhere around the mall, because every time I walk to work, almost every day, I see this heron, and so I think there's a heron nesting somewhere around our local mall. There's also a dove that's taking up residence at the Walmart, which I've named him Wally. So I like to name things, but yeah, so that's cute. Okay, first off, before I get into Dark Disciple, I don't know if any of you guys know, on to Star Wars news. Star Wars is launching a new TV show. Lego Star Wars Legos is really popular in Disney XD, and I think it started on Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network. They started doing a Lego Star Wars series. I think the first one was called the Yoda Chronicles, and that was all about Yoda giving Luke a mission to go find the holocrons, and apparently it was really popular and it was really funny, and they aired it on Disney XD. And now they've announced that this year, surprise, they're starting a new Lego Star Wars TV show. It's called Lego Star Wars Freemakers. The basic plot is it's about a trio of orphan siblings, a sister and two brothers, who they basically rummage the galaxy. They scavenge ships and stuff and fix them up and sell them to people. I think, like, apparently Jabba the Hutt's one of them. I don't know. But they sell these ships to people, and the youngest, and they have a battle droid named Rodney that they kind of, Roger, that they refurbished and reprogrammed, and he's like their caretaker. He's the one kind of who's taking care of them, and it's funny because, it's just funny to see a battle droid actually have a brain. But, yeah, so it's these three siblings with Roger, and then they meet a Jedi who says, oh, by the way, the youngest brother, the baby of the family, which is the youngest brother, he's force sensitive, and he has a special, and she needs his help. Come to find out, the backstory of Freemakers is there was this Jedi who once created this powerful, who found a crystal so powerful that he built a lightsaber with it, and he discovered that if he wasn't careful, he could destroy big objects, like planet objects. And because this crystal was so powerful and made the lightsaber so dangerous, this Jedi took apart the lightsaber, broke the crystal into pieces, and scattered them across the galaxy. Well, guess what? Emperor Palpatine has learned about this crystal, this all-powerful crystal, is going, idea, and has decided he wants to find it. So this mysterious Jedi has decided that she needs the help of the youngest Freemaker to go travel across the galaxy and find the Kyber crystal pieces before the Emperor and Darth Vader are here. So, all of a sudden, the Freemaker siblings discover that they are no longer just traveling the galaxy, scavenging ships, and reselling them. They now have a mission to save the galaxy. Not sure how that ends up. It's not clear where in Star Wars timeline this story takes place, but I'm guessing since it's a female Jedi that none of us have ever seen before, I don't even recognize her at all, that it's definitely pre Star Wars, pre this thing, New Hope. So I definitely think it's early Rebellion, maybe like shortly after Order 66. I'm not sure, but it's definitely interesting. Go to YouTube, check out the trailers. The funniest thing for me, I'm not sure I'm gonna watch it. Definitely the funny, but I have seen the trailers, which is why I'm not gonna. The trailers are good. I'm honestly not into the Lego Star Wars stuff. There's so many inside jokes for Legos, like who has two thumbs? Oh, who has two hands? Because they don't have thumbs. I've never gotten into the whole Lego Star Wars TV shows. There's a few of them out there. I don't know why. I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I would play the Lego Star Wars games, but a Lego Star Wars TV show, it just never caught my interest, and so I'm actually not that interested in the Freemakers. Granted, there are a couple funny moments in the trailer. My favorite one is when Roger, the battle droid, goes, "You're a Jedi?" And she goes, "Yes." He goes, "I thought so." Right, Jedi! And I'm like, okay, that part of his programming obviously didn't get fixed. So go to YouTube, check out Star Wars Freemakers if you want to. It's kind of cute. I think, in all honesty, I think Lego Star Wars is definitely a good introduction for little kids to Star Wars. I definitely don't see it as something I would be watching. I don't know. I just never liked the whole idea of the Lego TV series. So that's just me. Go check it out if you want. It looks cool if you're a kid. But hey. Anyway, on to the bigger part, which is I promised on Sunday, I promised I would finish Dark Disciple, which is the book I've been promising I would finish for like 4 weeks. I finally finished Dark Disciple, and I admit I cried. I cried just a little. I cried, but I cried. Okay. So here it is. This is Dark Disciple. This is the book I've been trying to finish, and I finally did. And it's one of the newer Star Wars canon books. They have a list of all the canon stuff now. So it's actually shorter than EU. Which I was talking to a friend of mine and we both agreed while the old Star Wars Expanded Universe was awesome, it was such a mess because there were so many books and sometimes the books weren't exactly linked together, so it's so nice that now they're like kind of shrinking it a little bit. But Dark Disciple is, but the new line of canon is Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, the Clone Wars TV series, Dark Disciple, which is this, Revenge of the Sith, Lord of the Sith, Tarkin. Those two I'm not sure I want to read because they're about the bad guys. But then again, I wasn't sure I would actually. I bought this and I wasn't even sure if I was going to read it. And I did. A New Dawn, which I can't wait to own because that's about Hera and Kanan. Rebels TV series, A New Hope, Heir to the Jedi, which I really want to read because I heard it's really good. Battlefront Twilight Company, which I don't know what that is. Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, Aftermath, which I now have, Aftermath, Life Debt, Aftermath, Empire's Blood, which is a trilogy about what happens after Return of the Jedi, New Republic Bloodlines, which I do have. I think that's going to be the next one I read. I might read Aftermath first. That one's about Princess Leia. The Perfect Weapon, which is an ebook, which I haven't found at all. And then The Force Awakens. So that's the new canon timeline. So this is Clone Wars. Takes place obviously after I think the TV show ends. Because Ahsoka's not in it for one thing. So it's like, aw. But that's okay. We're getting a new book about Ahsoka, which will make me flippin' happy. I'm so excited for the new Ahsoka book. But this is really good, and the back of it reads, in the war for control of the galaxy between the armies of the dark side and the Republic, former Jedi Master turned ruthless Sith Lord Count Dooku has grown even more brutal in his tactics, and when he orders the massacre of helpless refugees, the Jedi Council can see no alternative but to take drastic action, targeting the Empire's most cold-blooded disciple for assassination. But Dooku is dangerous prey, so the Council decides to bring both sides of the Force to bear, teaming brash Jedi Knight Quinlan Vos with infamous ex-Sith acolyte Asajj Ventress. Though Jedi distrust for the cunning killer who once sued Dooku still runs deep, Ventress's hatred for her former master runs deeper. Determined to have vengeance and let go of her Sith past, Ventress must balance her growing feelings for Vos with the fury of her warrior spirit, and resolves to claim victory on all fronts. It is a vow that will be mercilessly tested by her deadly enemy and her own doubt. So actually, when I picked this up, I thought it was a book about Quinlan Vos, and he is featured. A lot of the story is told. It's third person, but we see a lot of it done from his point of view, his perspective. But near the end, it does become more about Asajj. It becomes more about Ventress, and we learn so much more about her past. And her past is highlighted in the Clone Wars TV series, but this goes a little bit deeper into her feelings, into her thoughts, and when I first started watching Clone Wars, I did not like Ventress. I mean, it's just like, I thought she was kind of cool, but at the same time, I thought she was really, really mean, and it's kind of weird how she would interact with them and stuff. In fact, at the beginning of this book, when the idea comes up and they select Obi-Wan to help Quinlan work with Ventress, he tells him to, like, she likes to talk and play games, like banter back and forth when they're fighting. Quinlan's like, wait, flirting? And Obi-Wan's like, it's not flirting. I'm like, yeah, you watch the TV show, that's flirting. Just a little bit, but it's definitely, it's really interesting, though, to see, Obi-Wan kind of get chewed out by, Vos for kind of going against the code a little bit, but, it was really interesting, and I ended up liking it a lot. And like I said, when I first started watching Clone Wars, I didn't like Ventress, and then Dooku kind of decides, okay, Pelbo Creep says I can't let you hang out with me anymore, so I'm gonna kill you. And it's like, wait, what? She did everything you told her to. Okay. So after that, I kind of felt sorry for her, because she really just wanted, because he was like, taught her for so long, she really only knew this life, and then he's like, okay, I'm done with you. And then she goes back to her original home, which is on Dathomir. She's a part of the Night Sisters, and she becomes a Night Sister, and then what happens? Dooku has Grievous attack the Night Sisters and basically wipe them off the face of the galaxy. So now, all of a sudden, Ventress went from being a Sith acolyte to being a Night Sister to now, she has no one. So she becomes a bounty hunter, and she's actually pretty good at it, of course, and by the time we see her in the Wrong Jedi story arc of Season 5, she is really kind of down on her luck, she's lonely, she's frustrated, and in the end, I guess I can't really blame her. I mean, when you've kind of lived in this life that has been like a series of lows and highs, but mostly a lot of low points, I guess I can see why you would have to put on such a tough shell. And it was definitely interesting reading this book and seeing the softer side of her and learning that she really is just this lonely person who, without really knowing it, was seeking love. And she finds it, and it's brief, but she finds it. Quinlan is a very interesting character. My first experience with him was in Hunt for Zero, where they team up with Obi-Wan, and it's just hysterical because, like I said, I watched the episode and I go, wow, he's like Anakin, only with 10 times more sugar and caffeine in his system. And then you read this, and it talks about, oh yeah, he's kind of wild and rebellious, but he's actually kind of very very good at following the code, at being a proper Jedi. I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't match with what you see in Hunt for Zero or how he's described on any of the websites or anything. It's like, oh, really? He's a rebel who follows the what? So Quinlan was kind of confusing to try and figure out at some level. So it was very interesting delving a little more into Quinlan's psyche as well as Ventress's. Also gives us a little... there's a few scenes with Anakin in here. It's very funny because at one point Anakin meets Obi-Wan and Voss as they leave the council chamber, and Voss is like, why do you just assume that you're gonna come on a mission with Obi-Wan? And Anakin's like, because it always does. They always get stuck together, I guess. So that was cute. A few funny moments in here. But it was really interesting. Also going back to the Shroud of Darkness in Rebels this past season. There's that great scene with Yoda talking to Ezra about the Clone Wars, and Yoda says the Jedi entered it out of arrogance and they became influenced by the dark side and it kind of clouded them. And I'm the one sitting there going, wait a minute, I've watched Clone Wars, the Jedi are my favorite characters, it seems like, and I watched Clone Wars and I didn't really see that. I didn't really see like the Jedi Masters themselves or really any of the older knights becoming influenced by the dark side. I mean, there's that episode later of Grievous where Kit's former Padawan Nadar kind of gives him those emotions, and it doesn't end so well for poor Nadar. But on the whole, I didn't really see a lot of it, and I guess maybe that was the point. The Jedi weren't really able to see when they were being influenced by it. But it was like, wait a minute, I didn't really see any of that, and actually, the Dark Disciple clears it up, because the Jedi want to end this war, and it's just been dragging on. And in the beginning of the book, Dooku basically massacres an entire ship of refugees, and that really goes against what the Jedi believe in. So they have to find a way to end this war, and the only way they see to do that is if Dooku's out of the picture, and the only way he's going to be out of the picture is if he's, well, dead. So they actually go against themselves and decide that they're going to try and assassinate him, which is, I saw that and I go, okay, wow, now I get what Yoda meant when he said in Shroud of Darkness about the Jedi being kind of clouded by the dark side and giving into their emotions. That assassination attempt prior to reading this wasn't something I would have thought the Jedi Council of the Republic before would have been able to even think about, discuss. But during Clone Wars, I guess it was like they thought it was the only option they had. So yeah, it was this definitely went through and proved what Yoda meant by the Jedi being filled with arrogance and opening themselves up to the darker side, that they were suddenly finding themselves doing what they had to do. And it goes along so well with the point Anakin makes in the Citadel arc in season 3, when Tarkin points out that he thinks the Jedi should be removed from the roar, and Anakin points out, well, Tarkin does have a point. As Jedi, our beliefs, our code, it kind of stops us from going far enough to be able to fully end the war. And this definitely hammers home that they actually went against themselves. So I don't know if this is a confusing review, but it is a good book. It's really interesting. I definitely think it's a redeeming story for Ventress, so go check it out. Check out Dark Disciple. It's a really good book. But yeah, so that's my book review for Dark Disciple. Like I said, don't know which one I'm going to do next. I don't know if I'm going to do Bloodlines or Aftermath. I have both of them. But I'm also kind of focused on another series, the Selection series by Kira Cass, which is this really amazing dystopian series for young adults, basically teens. I found it by accident. I really wasn't going to read it, but I tried it. It's 5 books. The 5th one, The Crown, just came out, and it takes place in this future world which has been totally redesigned by World War III. America no longer exists. It's called the Kingdom of Ilia. And in Ilia, the crown prince marries a commoner, and they do this by having a selection. They pick 23 girls from the 23 different provinces that now make up what was the United States, and they bring the girls to Angeles, the capital of Ilia, and they have the girls compete to win the heart of the prince. And it's all broadcast. People get to vote, and the prince chooses who is going to be his wife, his princess, and the future queen of this country. And that way it bolsters people's patriotic feelings. In the first book, and in the Selection series, the first 3 books, which are The Selection, The Elite, And the one, we meet the main character. It's told from her point of view, is a girl named America Singer, who's a 5, because in this new world order of Ilia, there's a caste system 1 through 8. And she's a 5, which means she's an artist. She's a singer. She sings. She plays instruments. Her dad's a painter. Her sister's a painter. Her older brother's this really famous sculptor artist. And so 5s are like artists and performers, and 1s are like the elite. They're the royalty. 2s are like celebrities. They're models. They're actresses. 3s are like your teachers and physicians and lawyers, and 4s are farmers. They work in factories. 5s are like the artists and the performers. 6s are blue collar workers. They clean houses. They do janitorial work. They work inside. 7s are those who do the work outside, the garbage collection and stuff. And then there are 8s. They're the lowest of the lows. They're the ones who are homeless. They can't get enough food. They're starving. So there's this caste system. And America is in love with a 6 named Aspen, but they get into a fight, and she is chosen to be in the selection to compete for the heart of Prince Maxon. And she goes and expects that she'll be sent home right away because she's a 5. She's actually she's the lowest in the selection group. And she ends up falling in love with him, and suddenly she has to compete with all these other girls who would be so much better to be the princess than she is. And so the selection, the elite, and the 1 are all about America's journey through the selection. And then the last 2 books, which are The Heir and The Crown is the one that just came out, are about her daughter, who is the first crown princess of Ilia, who decides she has to do the selection to help bolster bolster this country as it's going through these changes. And then there's a little book called Happily Ever After, which is like little short stories that Curacast made to go along with the selection series. So I've read that. It's really good. So I'm kind of focused on finishing that. I have to wait because I had to put a hold on the 1 and then The Crown, and I have The Heir, which I can't read until I read the 1. So I got to read that first. So yeah, if you want, I'll do a more in-depth book review for the selection series. The first 3 books, though, the selection, the elite, and the 1. I'll also work on Bloodlines and Aftermath. I'm still not sure which one I want to do first. Aftermath is part of a trilogy. So I might, and the second book's coming out soon, so I might wait to do Aftermath. Because I have Bloodlines, so I don't know. I'm really debating. I don't know which one I want to do first, Aftermath or Bloodline. So you guys let me know. Do you want me to do more book reviews? If so, do you want me to do Bloodlines or Aftermath first? Do you want me to do a book review for the first 3 books of the selection series? And then do one for The Heir and The Crown when I finally read them? Do you want me to do a book review for Lady Midnight or the City of Bone, or Immortal Instruments or Infernal Devices? Do you want me to keep doing these book reviews? Which ones do you want me to do? Leave a comment below. Let me know. Thank you to Layla B for commenting on my last video. I swear you are the only one who's actually watching these things, so thank you a million times. But yeah, that's it for today. I'm not a lot of Star Wars news. Go, if you're interested, go check out the Freemaker trailers. There's like 2 of them now on YouTube. Don't forget to check out the Star Wars show. This week's episode, they actually have the director from Finding Dory. And definitely check out Dark Disciple. It's a really interesting book about 2 really cool characters. So go check it out. And that's it for today. Once again, I am Caitlin, your favorite Mission Girl and wannabe Jedi. Don't forget to like, subscribe, or leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. And as always, may the Force be with you.